In a Japanese dystopian future, warring ninja clans battle for the Holy Grail, a relic capable of destroying the Earth. When the Koma clan wipe out and destroy the Huma clan and steal the Holy Grail, the last remaining man of the Huma clan must win it back. His body is destroyed, but with his cunning and knowledge of powerful ninjutsu still intact, his brain is transferred to the ultimate robot ninja body, hell-bent on avenging his clan. He is Hagane. Of course, you'd only know that if you read the manual. The game itself doesn't really explain it, but it is completely evident that you are an awesome cyborg ninja with a ton of incredible abilities. And hey, if the game is fun, that's enough for me. Hagane, the Final Conflict, known simply as Hagane in Japan, which means steel, was released in Japan in '94 by Cap Productions, who would later go on to pretty much only make Mario Party games. Not really sure what happened there, but I feel like it's kind of a waste because Hagane is an awesome game, and it had some real potential. And Mario Party is, well, I mean, it's not bad, but it's Mario Party. But that's neither here nor there. You control the cyborg ninja Yoshimitsu, Hagane, in a side-scrolling platformer as you face challenging levels, enemies, and bosses, not unlike Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden. The first thing you'll notice, especially if you watch the intro, is that the art and the sprite work is really pretty cool. There's a lot of neat looking backgrounds and everything just looks good, especially Hagane himself. The art direction of Hagane is really cool. I'm a really big fan of the dystopian future cyberpunk mixed with the traditional Japanese style enemies and architecture. It's a really cool mishmash of ideas, and each boss is especially varied and coolly designed with this cyber Nihon style in mind. What really makes Hagane a blast to play is the sheer amount of abilities Hagane has at his disposal, and how wonderful the control is. Hagane's got 4 weapons that you can switch to at will. He's got the classic sword for high damage close range combat, a grappling hook for medium range attacks that can stick to ceilings, straight firing long range kunai, and arcing mid range grenades. Hagane can also flip left or right to evade attacks, or even charge up his flips up to 3 times and perform 2 different powerful attacks from each flipping position, for a total of 6 separate flip attacks. Holding down in midair also gives Hagane this awesome dropkick that you can use to bounce off of enemies' heads, and of course kill them in the process. As far as movement goes, Hagane can climb on flat ceilings, slide along the ground, and his most important and useful move, air dash, which can lead into wall jumps if you aim it at a wall. Finally, when all else fails, Hagane also has access to bombs that damages all enemies on screen and gives him a short burst of invincibility. That's a lot to keep track of. The first thing that might put off first-time players of Hagane is simply how many things he can do, and excelling in Hagane requires knowing which abilities and weapons are ideal for each situation. As you progress and feel out each of Hagane's unique abilities, the easier the game gets. And you'll be using the majority of these abilities in spades as you progress through the 20-ish levels plus bosses. At first, you'll just be swapping weapons for the right job, but Hagane is one of those games that is easy to learn, but tough to master. And once you actually do master it, it feels really good to cruise through levels unhindered, flipping and air dashing all over the place. And if combat is too fast for you, Hagane is even able to cycle through his weapons while paused, giving first-timers some breathing room. Newbies will love all of the options at their disposal for any situation, but masters will love being able to really push Hagane to his limits. Hagane is, I think, wrongly accused of being notoriously difficult. Hagane is challenging, sure, but again, it's all about mastering Hagane's abilities, seeing which one is right for the current enemy or situation, and learning the patterns of all the enemies and bosses. If Hagane falls off a cliff or is hit 3 times, he loses a life, but there are power-ups that can restore his life or even increase his maximum life so that a player can sustain 5 hits before losing a life. If you have 5 max life and then get killed, however, you'll return back to the default 3 maximum. This can make some bosses tough if your first try is with 5 life, but now you're gimped with 3 for your next try. In addition to health, Hagane can also find more ammunition for his kunai, grenades, and bombs, as well as 1-ups if he's lucky, after defeating enemies. A really cool design choice that I'd like to see more side-scrollers have is that if an enemy is not doing an attack animation, you can't be hurt by walking into them. This allows you to reposition yourself in certain tricky situations, and definitely removes a possible frustration. There are 5 levels, and each level has 4 parts plus a bonus stage. Each level is unique from the last, from dealing with airships, to skulking through sewers, to even a few shoot-'em-up style segments. Hagane has unlimited continues, but what makes it challenging is that getting a game over on the boss level sets you back to the first part of that level. So getting a game over on stage 2-5, the second boss, sends you back to 2-1. so it can sometimes feel like an endurance test to make it through all 5 levels in a row without getting a game over. But the repetition really allows you to master each stage and make it further each time with more lives at your disposal, allowing you more opportunities to make and learn from your mistakes. Also, the levels in Hagane are woefully short, and many can be beaten in under a minute, and this can be a good thing or a bad thing based on how you look at it. In fact, your first run through Hagane will take you about 2 to 4 hours, and once you know what you're doing, you can beat it in under an hour easily. After you've beaten Hagane, the game starts up again in hard mode, where all enemies except bosses take extra hits to defeat, and they're a little tougher to dodge than usual. A good challenge for any Hagane veteran, sure, but for some reason the 5 bosses are completely unchanged and are just as easy as normal difficulty. Hard mode just kinda feels like an afterthought, and there's no real incentive to beat it other than to say, hey, I beat Hagane on hard mode. Aside from being too short, and the music being pretty forgettable, there's one weird design choice that I like to call the you've had enough mechanic, that I'm not a fan of. Hagane can carry on him a maximum of 99 kunai and 99 grenades, but if he's got more than, say, 80 or so, for some reason walking into the pickups doesn't pick them up like usual. Instead, you have to manually crouch to pick them up. Why would you have me crouch for pickups, but only when I have a decent supply of them? It doesn't make any sense. Either crouch or don't. Don't make me only crouch sometimes. But aside from the shortness, the lack of unique music, and the weird drop mechanic, I highly recommend checking out Hagane on the Super Nintendo, especially if you're seeking a high-speed, action-filled romp through cyberpunk Japan. Hagane is a bit of a hidden SNES gem that you should be playing. Hey, thanks for watching! Don't forget to subscribe for more Cyberphile content, and if you liked this video, show me with that little thumbs up button. If you liked this video, you might like one of my other videos. You can click right on the boxes to jump to them. Cyberphile, offline.